Hey everyone, Ronnie Chalvis here. Today I'm with my 16-year-old brother,
Hey, what's up?
Ryson Chalvis. Today we're going to teach you the side flip. Let's get started. Flips can be very dangerous, so make sure that you take every precaution in learning this move and that you only progress at the level you feel comfortable and confident as you're learning. With any new flip you're going to learn, I recommend you have some sort of mat or pad to provide some safety when you're learning these flips. The second thing I would recommend you have is someone to be there with you who can either help spot you or watch you just to tell you what you're doing. That can be very helpful to have someone watch you. So there's 3 techniques I want to talk about for the side flip. And these techniques can actually apply to a lot of other different flips, but it's important for the side flip especially. The first technique is your momentum. Your momentum is huge, especially when you're first learning the side flip, to being able to get the proper height and rotation to do the side flip. And the next technique is the block. The block is actually what allows you to transfer your momentum into height, so that when you're using your momentum, the block is actually stopping your momentum and punching the ground as you jump, so that you're actually getting more air and it's stopping your momentum. That's why it's called a block. And the third technique is the set. A lot of people in side flips like to try and cheat and lower real down and take off like that, which some guys are really good at pulling it off that way. But when first learning side flips, it's good to learn how to get height, and set helps you get your arms and body up in the air. So the set, you're just focusing on everything being tall and then getting up in the air. And then after that comes the rotation and landing. Imagine you're riding your skateboard and then suddenly you hit a curb. Well, what happens? Your body's going to immediately flip forward. And that's what the block is doing. It's the same exact thing. Your momentum is going, and you're using your feet to stop your momentum so that it can send your momentum, send everything forward in the rotation, but at the same time you're jumping. So instead of just face planting, you're actually going to stop, block, and with your jump and your set, get up in the air and then rotate around to make the side flip. When you're doing the set, for me personally, I really like to use my arms. So when I'm coming up, I bring my arms up, and then I'm going to set up with my arms, but then make it a fluid rotation to rotate around. And my arms are going to help me get up, and then as soon as I reach the peak of my height, I'm going to rotate again. So now it's time to talk about the rotation, one of the more difficult parts of learning a side flip, because often people will struggle with either rotating too much where it turns into more of a twist, or not rotating enough and it's more of like an awkward front flip. So how can we avoid those two things? Well, first off, I think the most important thing is to focus on your chest. If you can, in going into the side flip, keep your chest up and facing a certain direction, then keeping that center there will help you rotate like a disc all the way around. Oftentimes people will tuck their back like this, and it turns it into more of a barrel roll, barrel type flip. But to really pull off a nice clean side flip where you're perfectly sideways the entire way around, is to set up tall, but then keep that chest position and only bring your knees to your chest. Don't let your chest drop down to your knees, and then that way you're rotating on a more centered axis.
When you start getting better at side flips, you might, or even off ledges, you might over-rotate. When you over-rotate, you don't want to just land, and you'll probably just like land flat on your face or something. But instead you want to go into the roll, like with the side flip, you want to go into like a side roll type thing to keep you from getting hurt. Because if you're like doing it on cement and over-rotating, that would probably hurt.
So what would you say is the difference in technique when working on side flips off of height and on flat ground?
With height, I think it's more you want to control your rotation and spot your landing. You don't want to open up too late, otherwise you'll over-rotate. And with flat ground, you want to focus more on setting tall, and you want to block more.
Alright, so when working with height on the side flip, you also want to make sure that your legs are strong enough for the height you're working with. If you're collapsing when you're landing, it means you're going too high, so you need to be able to have the strength to control your body and not bend that far down if you're going to land. Otherwise, have the roll mastered so that you can roll out of it to prevent that high impact. Here's a little trick to help you learn the side flip if it's making you a little scared. Find a friend and use him as an obstacle to actually roll over, and then doing that over and over again, try and use him less and less until you start actually rotating in the air by yourself. Finally, when landing the side flip, practice picking spots on the ground to land on. It'll help you learn how to control your side flip with precision and just overall body control. Alright, well that's it for the side flip. Go out and train and have fun. Be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching.